everybody. Here we go!
Water.
Hello guys, it's me, Miss Relly, and welcome to my class. First of all, are you familiar with this kind of story? Great! Do you know that these are the examples of narrative story? Alright, in this video, we're going to learn about narrative text. Everyone must have known or at least heard narrative text in advance. Narrative text is a type of English text that often appears and is taught at junior or senior high school level. But what is exactly narrative text? So narrative text is a kind of text that tells an imaginative story or a sequence of story in past tense, which aims to entertain the readers. Usually, the narrative contains good fiction stories, non-fiction stories, animal stories, folk tales included legend, myth, and also fairy tales. There are so many kinds of narrative text. Here I'll show you some of them. The first one is legend. It is a narrative of human actions that are perceived both by the teller and listeners to take place within human history. A legend is a short, traditional, and historicized narrative performed in a conversational mode. Some define legend as a folktale. An example of legend in narrative text is the story of Ronojonggrang or the legend of Prambanan Temple. The second one is fairy tale. A fairy tale typically features such folkloric characters as fairies, goblins, elves, trolls, dwarfs, giants, or gnomes, and usually magic or enchantments. The example of fairy tale in narrative text is the story of Cinderella. Next, we have fantasy. Fantasy are stories that includes impossible or magic systems as the components of the story. And for the example, Alice in Wonderland. And then fable. A fable is a short allegorical narrative making a moral point, traditionally by means of animal characters who speak and act like human beings. The example of fable in narrative text is The Ugly Duckling. The next one is myth. It is a traditional or legendary story, usually concerning some being or hero or event, with or without a determinable basis of fact or a natural explanation, especially one that is concerned with deities or demigods and explains some practice, rite, or phenomenon of nature. And for the example, Dewi Sri and Nyi Roro Kidul. The next is science fiction. Science fiction is fiction based upon some imagined development of science or upon the extrapolation of a tendency in society. Science fiction is that class of prose narrative writing of a situation that could not arise in the world we know. An example of science fiction is the story of Avatar. Okay, now let's discuss the social function or the purpose of narrative text. The first one is to entertain or amuse the readers. Second one, to teach moral value. And the last one is to change social opinion. Let's moving on to the generic structure of narrative text. What are they? Alright, the first one is orientation. It is about the opening paragraph where the characters of the story are introduced. Next one is complication. This part includes situations, activities, or events that lead problem to the climax. After that, there is resolution. Solution is where the problems in the story is solved, whether for better or worse. This part shows the end of the story. Beside those three main parts of narrative text, there are also optional structure which can be added or not. They are evaluation and reorientation. Evaluation contains of controlling and evaluating a love adventure or conflict, while reorientation contains the conclusion of the end story. Now let's learn about the language feature of narrative text. The first one, using past tense. There are three types. The first one is simple past tense, past continuous tense, and past perfect tense. And then using adverb. There are adverb of time, adverb of place, and adverb of manner. Next, narrative text also use time sequence or conjunction. For examples are as below. And the last one is using direct speech. The characteristic of direct speech is using double quotation mark. That's all about the nature of narrative text. For now, let's refresh your memory, and to practice your understanding, let's discuss the following exercise together. As you can see on your screen now, there are a text and a question. To answer the question, first of all, you need to read the text. Question number 1. What is the purpose of the text? A. To describe characters in a story. B. To tell what happened in the characters in a story. C. To argue why story is important. D. To teach moral value with the story. Or E. To persuade the reader to read the story. The question above asks what is the purpose of the text, which is a narrative text. And if you remember what I said before, one of the purposes of narrative text is to teach moral message. Then, the most appropriate answer is D, to teach moral value with a story. Moving on to the question number 2, what happened when the granddaughter cooked the rice? A. The rice pot exploded. B. The girl turned into a monkey. C. The grandmother was so angry. D. The girl cooked the rice one more time. E. The porridge flooded the kitchen. Question above asks what happened when the granddaughter cooked the rice. To answer this question, we need to find out the keyword, which is granddaughter cooked the rice. It can be seen in paragraph 3. It is mentioned that the rice became rice porridge. It flowed and flowed until it covered the kitchen. So we can be sure that the right answer is E. The porridge flooded the kitchen. Question number 3. The grandmother chased it. Paragraph 5. The word eat refers to A. The rice. B. The sink. C. The monkey. D. The tree. E. The wooden stick. To answer this question, we get the clue, which is in the 5th paragraph. So focus on the sentence mentioned in the 5th paragraph. In the paragraph, it says, the monkey then ran away and climbed a tree. Grandmother chased it. We found it, and then the it here refers to the monkey. So the correct answer is C. The last question. He hit the girl with a wooden stick. Paragraph 4. The underlined word can be replaced by A. Cut. B. Slapped. C. Opened. D. Left. E. Stroke. This question asks for word synonyms. Then you should pay attention to the underlined word. To answer this question, we can first translate it into Indonesian. Well, hit means memukul, then cut means memotong, slap means memukul, opened means membuka, left means meninggalkan, stroke means membelai. So the appropriate answer is B. Yay! You all did very well. I hope that this video will give you insight. Thank you so much for watching. Stay happy, stay healthy everyone. Goodbye.